All right, I had to restart my OBS. I guess it crashed or something. Hopefully my recording of my first trade, hopefully the video didn't get corrupted. I haven't been able to check. So it's now 7:40 in the morning. I did get one trade earlier. Hopefully I'll have that video to include on YouTube. And right now we do have a possible
order submitted.
Another PB to the short side setting up. Just gonna be patient here. Definitely have some support, but it kind of makes sense for me to want to retest the lows. It's going to take another bearish bar for me to be able to take anything here. I've changed which accounts, I've rotated accounts, what's being played on the second trade, just to minimize risk to my first win. And if we get a second win, I'll rotate again for a third trade. That's how I just minimize risks, so I'm not risking every account on every trade. Right now I'm going to play PA1 and PA4 without PA3. Okay, getting a bearish bar. Very bearish bar. Too late.
Order canceled.
I was trying to look at both screens at the same time. That was a good one. I should have definitely taken that. I was just double checking something to make sure it was correct. And by the time I looked to my other chart with the indicator on it and looked back, it was too late. All right, that's too bad. So it was just more bearish than I was expecting. So I was just thinking, am I seeing everything the right way? Because it had gone so far, but it definitely would have worked very easily. That's the only challenge for me doing this on YouTube, since I'm not showing the indicator currently, is it just makes it a little harder because I have to look to my left first, and then I have to come back and look to where the entry is. And you can see there's no pullback here at all after the signal bar. So, I mean, I think I would have been able to get in if I acted quicker, but pretty fast there. And, you know, a slight hesitation of just making sure by looking away again just made me miss it. See what else we get. You're recording here just to see if my third unnamed setup is about to happen for short. If it does, I'm not sure I'm going to take it. I haven't taken one yet on the Apex accounts, but I just keep seeing them win. So I'm tempted to take one if I see it. I also, my LO strategy and my PB strategy or setups, I can kind of see them coming for the most part. Usually that's kind of one of the things I really like about it, is it's kind of like a chess move. I can see it coming a couple moves ahead of time. And with this third setup, I really only see it right when the bar completes. That's when I recognize it. So that wasn't it. It's possible if it closes down here, it might be one. I'm never sure until the bar closes and see what the indicator shows. So I'm just going to stick with it and see if it does turn into one. If it closes bullish up here, then it's not. All right, I'm going to pause and I'll come back. If it happens, I'll try to record again as fast as possible. All right, watching this, it might be a little early. There's a possible PB.
Order submitted.
To the short side. Needs to close here on this one. And the next bar even lower. That bar is not even low enough to set this up. I would need a bar to close somewhere in here. And then another bar to close lower. And we're already getting to a measured move down. So I kind of feel like this is a little premature, but there's a number of things that are kind of starting to line up.
Order canceled.
I think if this happens, it's early and it's going to happen more over here. If it happens at all. I'll pause and see what happens and come back. All right, so this bar came back down. I'm watching this again.
Order submitted.
Because a close down here may give me the setup. There's still, besides price needing to close in a certain spot, I also need one more element to line up. Close would need to be down here, which is near the measured move. Kind of got a similar feel to how this one was over here. It started stacking up and then it shot down once it triggered. So I'm looking for a close down here. We'll see if it's all lined up. May do exactly what it did on this side. Just go down really steep and cause it to trigger. Let's see if it makes a push down right now. It really doesn't matter how many times it closes across like this for a PB. It just matters where the close of what turns out to be the signal bar is, with the location of it at the time that it does it. So it can still turn down right now. And if we get a close down here, it's likely to be good. typically it just won't happen if it's not going that way. So if it shoots out this side to the long side, then it's maybe taking it off the table, or it's just going to be delayed till later, or something completely else is about to happen. If this continues to go up and doesn't turn down, I'm going to pause and cancel this order and come back. If it... Right.
Order canceled.
So it seems to be going up still. I'm going to pause here and just see if it turns back down at all. All right, so it is turning back down.
Order submitted.
Order ready again. Now I need to close somewhere in here and then a close below. I don't want to go too far down right now. So that's a good close. And then we want to close below. My stop would go above here. So if we get a close below here, I'm just going to have to look at my other chart to make sure that there's one more element that has lined up with the rest. And that's the hard part for me in entering trades on this blank chart, is looking away from where I'm trying to enter to see if it's all there, and then once it's confirmed, to drop the order in time and in the right spot, because I have to see where the candle closes on this chart. All right, so it turned up, so it didn't happen there. Still waiting and watching. Seems like it doesn't want to set up down here. Trying to show a lot of support. Close would have to be down here somewhere. It's entirely possible that made the two measured legs down and it's going to do something else now, but just try to be ready for it if it happens, because all that matters to me more than this is just if the setup happens with all the rules in place or not. it seems like we're going the wrong direction again, so I'm going to pause.
Order
Cancel this
canceled.
order, and I'll pause and come back if it comes back down to where I need it for the setup to be.
Order submitted. All right. This looks like potentially gonna give me my PB. Need to close really at the bottom here. Oh, got the close in the right place, but one element, oh Order
man,
canceled.
one element is just not quite in the right spot. So I have to not take this even if it triggers. Let's see. Right now it's only gone 1 tick, so it hasn't triggered technically for me because I wait for 2 ticks. But even if it does go 2 ticks by a slim margin, I would have to consider this a white PB, not gold. And so I just can't take it because I'm trying to only take objective trades. And this one is more subjective because one of my rules is not in place. So there's the trigger. It'll probably work, but this is how I'm approaching this trading game with this strategy, is trying to just take the most objective trades I can. And if there's any subjectivity to it, I have to just leave it alone to the best of my ability. And now on that close, everything is in alignment. So, it's, to me, it's a judgment call. For everything to fall into alignment on the bar after, I think is exactly what makes it subjective for me. So regardless if it works or not, I'm going to continue to observe these situations and see how often they turn into winners versus losers. But for right now, like I said, I just have to leave it alone and trust my rules. So I'll pause and come back and see what the outcome was on this one. All right, so we've had a pullback after the white subjective PB triggered. So just for this pullback alone, it makes me think I did the right thing, regardless of what the outcome is, as this would be going into drawdown right now. My stop would be up here. So, you know, we're not quite there yet to say it's a losing trade. But typically PBs work very fast, as you've probably seen if you've been watching my videos. Every time I enter a PB, there's usually not a pullback. It usually just goes for it. So the fact that this is doing this right now and now starting to approach where my stop would be, kind of a couple ticks above this bar, I'd say that my rules are keeping me out of a potential bad trade here. I'll pause. Well, let's see what happens. This is 0750, so I'd say at 08 would be my stop, and we're now at 07. The high of the bar is 0725. But the reality is, even if it doesn't stop out, the fact that it's done this just shows me that my rules were spot on, not taking the trade. Okay. 2 ticks away from where my stop would have been. Clearly, I'd say my rules kept me out of a bad trade here by the slimmest margin, but it still was clearly, that last piece of the puzzle was clearly not in alignment. And there's a 08. So I probably just got hit with a stop right there if I'm in that trade. So another example of why my rules that I put in place have to be there perfectly. Even if they're like so close, everything's right except one thing is just a little bit off, it's better for me to skip the trade. And that's why I've been doing that lately. But we're here observing, and you know, that's why I'm recording all of this and documenting it so that I can look back and see what's working and what's not working and any adjustments I need to make. But yeah, it's good to find rules that work for your strategy and stick to them. All right, I'm pausing here, see if anything else comes up. All right, this went the complete opposite direction. So shorts, I guess, got trapped there apparently. Didn't quite make a measured move from this leg down. No setup here for me at all. So just waiting. All right, it's a little after 9:30. I haven't seen any trades at all since the one that I missed the setup. I was looking for one around here, but all the rules weren't in place for the PB here, and that would have been a loser. And now I see 2 measured legs up, hit it to the tick perfectly. So I'm waiting here to see what price action decides to do. But the move up might be over at this point. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on. See if maybe we get another setup going down this way somewhere. I'll pause and come back if something comes up. Recording here. This might be potentially the third setup I've been working on setting up here for a short. I'm just going to wait for the close here and see what happens. No, wasn't low enough. Nothing here. I'll keep watching. Wow, okay, I stepped away to take care of my dogs, and as I suspected, this rolled over and shot down to the lows again for a retest of the lows from earlier. And I wasn't here. It's possible this was a PB, but it really doesn't look right in hindsight, so I'm guessing it wouldn't have been right if I was here live for it. So I don't think I missed any setups. I'm going to walk away for another couple minutes here, and then I'll be back. Wow, okay, so I'm back, and now we're below the overnight lows. Or it wasn't even the overnight low, but below the low of the day from early on, and this has been a massive sell-off. I'm just looking to see if there was any setups, and it looks like here
didn't get triggered. This could have been an LO, but it didn't trigger 2 ticks below it, so that's not something I would have taken. But wow, what a sell-off. I don't know what happened. There's no news that I'm aware of, but I'll keep watching here and see if we get something. And we're almost at the overnight or the previous day's lows here. This was actually close to being an LO right now, but I don't have a BT on this candle. It's close, but it's not quite. So to me, this would be subjective. Can't take it. I'll continue if I see a solid setup. So just recording again real quick to just point out, if I measure as this one move down as one leg and then put it at the highest point, we're almost at a second leg down here. So that was quite a steep move, but I'm not sure there would be anything much left to go further. Maybe it's trying to get to yesterday's low of day, which you can see there. But I'm just going to sit back and wait to see if there's any solid gold setups for my strategy. Let's pause. So we now reach this measured move off the high. One leg down, 2 leg down. So what I'm trying to just be aware of now, which I hadn't been doing previously, is just once it's made a measured move like this, if a setup occurs to go short, I just want to be extra cautious and just make sure it's a perfect setup if it develops, because as you can see, we're right at the previous day's low, this red line, and not much room left to close that. And we're at a measured move. So, it feels like a dangerous spot to continue to short after this long of a move down. And even right now, as I'm speaking, this is a BT right here. So this is a potential trade for an LO if this is a bearish bar. So I'm going to get my order ready. Submitted. I'm not sure I'm going to take it for all the reasons I just said, but I am going to just be ready and decide based on if it fits the rules. I suppose there's a little further it could go to reach the low of yesterday. I mean, it looks perfect. Yeah, well, so I'm hesitating because there's just not even room to yesterday's low for my scalp. So let's see if it worked. I mean, according to my rules, I should take this. If I didn't have that measured move, I would have taken it. So let's see what happens here. I'm very curious because this might be an example of one of the LOs that I've been losing. My entry would be here. My stop would be somewhere. It would be about here, 82. It's not even a bad stop. And then 78.25. So it needs to get to here. So it would have worked. It would have worked. Okay.
Order canceled.
So, this is a case where I guess I'm missing out on a trade because I did this, but it seems like it's worth considering keeping that in mind. Also, just the distance to the previous day's low. It just felt like after such a big move, from 44.15 essentially down to 43.78 or so. I think it's a good trade, but what am I supposed to do? I, I don't want to just, well, we went over all the reasons already. Maybe I should have taken that. Maybe it's smart to be cautious there after such a big move. I don't know. I'm going to keep observing these situations. This is new for me to use these measured moves with this strategy. And so I'm going to keep observing what happens when we get to the end of these measured moves. If I get a setup, is it still good to take? How many times does it work or fail? And then down the road, we'll decide if we can still take these. But for now, this was a LO that was skipped. All right. And I'll keep my eye out for anything else to come up. When you're trading and you just get that feeling, like uncomfortable feeling. After a while, after seeing this move down, I came back, I don't know, somewhere down here as I was approaching the previous day low. There's a setup, had an uneasy feeling, skipped it. It just keeps going down. And I feel like no matter what happens down here, I just don't want to trade because it just feels like you're just going to get trapped into something. Like, how much farther can it drop at this point in an hour? And you think it's just going to shoot back the other way. So I'm just being very careful now. I've got a win for the day. I don't want to mess that up. And even if I take another trade, I won't truly mess that up because most of these accounts are now switched off. And I'll be trading my next trade on some different accounts. But there is some overlap. And the accounts that haven't been traded yet, I still don't want those to get read today. So I'm just going to stay patient, be careful, trust my setups, but not be too aggressive because really today, this is all I need today. If this is all it's going to be, it's fine. But I want to trade when I'm feeling comfortable and confident. All right, going to keep watching. We'll see what happens. Well, this is a bit wild to watch, but it just keeps going. It's just dropping and not even giving any setups. So I'm just being patient. I'm trying not to get the FOMO from going like, wow, look at this move. But my rules are in place and, I'm just going to watch this until something sets up real nice for me. But man, it makes me think like definitely could have taken this trade or, but that's in hindsight, right? Anyway, I'll keep watching, see if something else comes up here. All right, so maybe we found a new bottom and it actually is getting close to a potential PB up here at the top. Be a very wide stop, I think. Over 10 points if it happens right now. I'm just going to sit here and watch this for a moment. See if it even presents itself. After such a strong move down, you almost expect it to maybe try to retest it one more time even. Yeah. So, this is good for me because I don't want to get tempted into a long all the way up here after a big move. But, the way my indicator works and the way my setups work, it typically won't give me a setup until it's actually going to do the thing that is the reason why it works usually. So now it's getting ready to potentially do it. My stop would be at around 60 and a half or so. I'm going to get my order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
There's still a factor not quite in place. But another push up here. And it's possible that I have a PB right now. So if we have a bullish bar here that closes up here, I'll be looking at my other chart to see if everything's in alignment. And if we get a 2-tick trigger on the next bar. So no, one factor is not in place. This would be a white PB.
Order canceled.
Just barely, but it's black and white as far as I'm concerned. It may still work. But this is just a white PB. And that's fine. This is the second time now where the last part of my indicator just got into alignment on the close of this bar. The last time I followed that, it turned into a loser when I tracked it earlier today. So now let's see what happens here. Begin at 68.75 and the high of this bar, 69.50. And yeah, there's reason to believe that you can expect a measured move potentially. 2 legs up. Seems like it's going for it. It's good for, it's gone 4 ticks. Okay, I'll pause here and see what happens. All right, so it looks like it just hit the 8th tick. 70.75, I would have been in at, let's see, I would have been in at 68.75. And yeah, so it hit 8 ticks. So I would have got a 6-tick scalp on this white PB. I guess it's not really my plan to mark white setups, but since I may just post my entire live recording raw, unedited again, I might as well mark it since I talked about it. All right, let's I'll pause here and see if I get any good gold setups. It's already 11:30 and I'm pretty beat, so I may try to end a little earlier than my usual. So less than an hour left for me today. So I'm just thinking here, you know, after I've been doing this for a long time, you know, recording on YouTube and following these sorts of situations. And now that I'm testing out measured moves with my system, you know, I'm just thinking, you know, there might become a point where if I have a strong leg up like this after such a major move down and you get a setup with the expectation of it reaching up here, you know, there may be a point where you can say, well, you know, it's an aggressive white trade, but maybe there's a reason why it's worth taking. I'm certainly not there yet. I certainly wouldn't do it with my accounts at this state of their existence. You know, I would definitely want to have payouts first, obviously, to recover my expenses trading with Apex. And I would definitely want to have accounts that have a lot of room in the drawdown so that, you know, if you're going to take something riskier, then a loss doesn't mean as much to the account as it currently does. So that's why we're not going to take these now. But hey, down the road after we study this, After I have a long track record, maybe these sorts of setups will become something that, based on context, maybe there's a reason to consider them. Anyway, not for today, but for another time, just a thought I had that I wanted to record to be able to review later. Thanks. Pausing, and I'll be back if something sets up. All right, so that measured move that I had marked way back when finally got hit. Haven't had any signals after this one, and so just still hanging out, but just wanted to show, these measured moves do work, and, can give a little bit of guidance as to where the market may be going after you get one solid leg, to look for a second leg. Which is what I've learned from Max Price Action Trading System when I used to trade that system. So we'll just see if it's worth kind of doing some of this as we go here. I hadn't been doing it the past few weeks for the most part on YouTube, but I think it's worth, just putting them on there when it makes sense to, and seeing if it helps guide me in some of my setups. Maybe if there's a setup real close to one, like there was earlier on the big one down, I skipped it, it would have worked. But, maybe I'll just track and see, if there was a setup right here, for instance. There's not, but if there was, will it work again, or does it not work? And, over the next weeks, I'll keep track, just mentally keep track. And, if it seems like it works and it doesn't matter, then I'll stop using them. But if it does seem to keep me out of some losers, then maybe there's a reason to do them. So we'll see what happens. I got a little time left, so let's pause here and see if something comes up. Just a quick observation here. Hit the measured move almost exactly, a little bit further. Hit the previous day low, as you can see here. Hit it to the tick, and now it's having a pullback. So this is kind of a who knows where it's going to go zone for me. Could go higher, could go lower, and let's see what happens. All right, it's just about 12:20 right now. I'm going to wrap it up for the day. Just the one trade today, and I'm happy with that. So until tomorrow, we'll do it again then. Thanks for watching.